Are you ready? I said, are you ready? You are listening to Voice of the Fans Sportscast, brought to you by none other than the voices of the fans. Discussing football, basketball, news, trending topics. The one-stop shop for all things sports. Voice of the Fans Sportscast. Hosted by none other than Ben Swift Reynolds, Taylor Gatwood, 100% RC, Professor Damian Flowers, and Tyler Wright. Voice of the Fans Sportscast.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Voice of the Fans Sportscast. I'm your host, Ben Swift Reynolds. We have Professor Flowers and RC with us on a Friday night. What's going on, gentlemen?
What's up?
Feeling good, looking good. Can't complain.
Yeah. Friday.
Got off early too, so I can't complain. They didn't have the product that I needed to deliver, so I was like, "Hey, I'm going home."
Cut on that on
her. Didn't have to tell me twice. I was out of there. So, we are brought to you by Bet Us. It's a sports book. Hold on, is it? It didn't show up. There we go. We are brought to you by Bet Us. It's a sports book. We got your game. Place your bets through Bet Us. Win some money this week. You know, if you win some money, take your significant other out on a date. You know, splurge a little bit. So there you go. Bet Us. So, guys, we saw the Eagles and the Vikings start off week 2. The Eagles beat the Vikings 34-28. So there was a lot of controversy around, you know, the game, you know, with Justin Jefferson fumbling the football out of the end zone. Matter of fact, I think I had a highlight for y'all. If it plays.
Cousins hanging in. Cousins deep. And it's pulled in. And the ball comes out, but he is out of bounds as they drop it at.
So that play right there overshadowed the game. Everybody like, oh, that was a bad, you know, they need to do away with that rule. What y'all thinking about? I asked RC, what you think about that rule about if you phone the ball through the end zone, it's a touchback?
Man, listen, they're making it extremely hard for these guys. Catch a ball, to run with a ball, to score. I mean, you're splitting hairs. Look like he scored to me. I mean, I really don't have any thoughts about it, man, because I feel like they're taking the fun out of football. Like, I don't think it would have made a difference in the game. But to be honest, I feel like they're slowing the game down. We're trying to just pinpoint and just make everything just. It's kind of like it reminds me of the play that Dez Bryant, you know, he caught the ball, ran, and he stretched his arm out, and it touched the ground. They say he fumbled it, or they said it was. What did they say? He didn't catch it.
He called it. It wasn't a catch. Yeah,
right.
He didn't catch.
So you know, me struggling with trying to understand what the hell they were saying. Like I still to this day don't understand who made that call without thinking that it was the game was thrown or rigged. But yeah, they didn't leave the game alone and let it play out organically.
Flowers, I'm gonna let you have a crack at this. What you think about that rule? Should they do away with it, or they should keep it?
Keep it. I mean, the play was obvious last night that he fumbled. He tried to do too much. I mean, he wasn't even close to the pylon because I think his mindset was he could reach out far enough to touch the orange pylon, and that wasn't the case. And you know, when he stretched out, he lost the ball. You know, instead of just bringing it in and tucking. I understand he was trying to make a play, but that play, if you think about it, that's another 6 points they could have had, and They could have had a lead going in the halftime. But it's unfortunate. But I don't think the rule should be changed. I think it's just fine the way it is.
Me either. I think that's pretty clear. If you fumble the ball through the end zone, it's a touchback. Just like if you're in your own end zone, you run out of bounds in the back of the end zone, that's a safety. It's kind of like a boundary type thing. So he didn't fumble the ball in play, he fumbled it out of the end zone. So you can't tell who's gonna recover who ball is it because you fumbled it into the defender's position.
So
So
when
I think
if he stretches the ball out,
Mhm.
say I'm stretching for the pylon, I lose the ball, right? But the ball is
If
stretched out, and this
Yeah,
is the pylon.
he
This is
he
the
got to
pylon.
touch the
No,
pylon. You got to touch
yeah,
the pylon.
you
I
You got
gotta
to
know,
touch
touch
the
it.
pylon.
I
'Cause he
know.
was
He,
out of
he,
So
bounds.
he
so
He was going out of bounds,
yeah.
and he was
So
he
the
was
thing is,
like
he
two
caught the
yards away
ball.
from it.
Yeah, he cut the ball 2 yards, and when he stretched, he lost control of the ball and he pushed it.
Hmm.
right,
He pushed it through the pylon. Now, if he
right.
reaches out and the ball crosses the pylon and then he loses it, it's a touchdown. He
Yeah.
maintained on the way down, so he didn't fumble it. That was the problem that he
But
caught it.
I agree. I agree with what y'all saying. I think what I'm saying is there's nothing wrong with the rule. It's something
Right.
wrong with football. Football is we splitting hairs now. If these rules was in place for Jerry Rice and Michael Irvin and these guys, the way the game is played, while the way the receiver has to be damn near perfect, the players have to be damn near perfect. I don't know if those players have been as great. But there's nothing wrong with the rule. It's just sometimes I think they thinking about it. You can tell that these guys are thinking about it. They
Don't
it's going
reach.
through their mind. Say it again.
Don't reach. They tell you in practice, don't do it.
But some situations,
You got
kind
to.
of explain themselves. Like in
Yeah.
Jefferson's case, this one explains itself.
You had no reason to reach. It was a first down on the 3 or 4 yard line. You didn't have to try to stretch out for it.
I thought the Dez Bryant play was a catch because he caught the ball
It
and
made a
made a
football
play.
move.
He made a
Hmm.
football move and dived and crossed the pile, and then the ball, he lost the ball,
Came
then
out.
hit the
Caught a
ground.
ground can't cause an incomplete
Right.
or a
But he
fumble.
already did multiple movements by then. But that's my
Right.
opinion on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm confused about. So it like Dez and what happened to Jefferson is like kind of different because he maintained control all the way through the football move and he reached out and the ball crossed the power line and when he hit the ground, that's when the ball popped out.
Right.
So that's why it didn't make no sense. Like, dude,
Yeah,
he hit the ground.
I think I'm agreeing with y'all, but
Mhm.
I think these guys are thinking football instead of playing football.
True.
So
Yeah.
these guys are trying to play and think about what they're doing. Like Jefferson just lost. You can tell by his body language, damn, I fucked up. That's how he walked
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
He know he made a mistake. But it's extremely tough to play football in the NFL today because everything is just it's kind of
Nitpick.
like it's almost like adding instant replay to baseball. It makes no sense.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins came out and took blame of that Jefferson fumble. Uh he mentioned that if he put it more of a rope on Jefferson, he would have caught it and ran in instead of he threw it behind him.
That's Kurt trying to clean it up. I mean,
He trying to clean it up. Yeah,
Jefferson just trying to make a play. I can't knock it, but
yeah.
like I say, he just lost it.
That's cool. All right, so RC, what did you learn about the Eagles last night?
I learned that you don't pay a quarterback early. I've been saying this, highly overpaid. Everybody jumped on this Jalen Hurts train. It's the reason why Alabama got off of him and got the tour. I like the kid. If you're gonna pay me because I'm a great leader and I'm good at home with my wife, you're gonna pay me for being great at the press conference. Okay, that's NBA 2K. I mean, that's what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But just far as playing quarterback from the pocket and making accurate passes and not looking like at some point in time he can run the wing team offense because sometimes it looks like to me he's better in he can go play for Army or Navy. That's how he wants to play the game, and that's not how the game should be played. I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback. I just don't think he is. And there was a moment last night where AJ Brown was pissed. AJ Brown was pissed with him because he missed
Right.
AJ Brown up the seam. But what I'm saying is I don't think it goes back to my argument with Justin Field. I don't think you could just swap them two out and you'll get a different result as far as what you had last year because you had 70 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
That dude is I saw it. It was on display. They're a team. They're not a team that's led by a quarterback. They are a complete
Right.
team, and you're gonna beat them. You're gonna beat the team. But I'm not worried about him at all. And it was on
Yeah,
display.
I've been saying is Jalen is not a top 5 quarterback. I mean, he's good when you have structure around him, but I don't count him as one of the guys like, man, you go out there and you just make all the passes and drive us downfield and to get us in position to win. I mean, he's good, but as you saw last night, he was struggling to read defenses. And then they'll blitz him. He was struggling with the blitz, which I was kind of surprised by that and all, because it seemed like he handled it better last year. So I don't know what's going on with him right now, but it seemed like he having a hard time picking up what's going on in the secondary. Cause we saw that interception he threw. It was just, I don't know what he's seeing out there. It was a bad
Look,
pass.
he's not gonna be perfect. We ain't asking him that.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm asking him to read though. I'm asking him to go through his progression. It seems like
no,
he having his trouble.
I ain't asking him that. In the Super Bowl, he played the perfect game in the Super
Right.
Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll have those games every now and then. Then he'll have a game like this. But my thing with him is, his fans or people who want to elevate him over people who are better.
Like Herbert.
Yeah, last week, both of them let me down with not being able to score touchdowns, not really putting their team over the hump. But my thing with Jalen is, real quickly, I just don't think he's a great quarterback. I think he's just a great game manager. I think he's a great leader.
He's a different kind of game manager.
Yeah, right.
He's a game manager, but I feel like he can break it wide open, if he get the right opportunity. We saw that with big runs. He can bust it wide open if he get a chance. Flowers. Prime time Kirk. You put it on him. He's 11-19 right now. You think that the defense is what's the problem that let down the offense last night?
I mean, you really can't blame Kirk Cousins. I mean, he had a great game. Philly in the second half definitely lined up and ran the football, which is their strength, and which they need to, honestly understand that they don't need to be having an identity crisis with what they need to do on the offense. The strength is to run the ball. Use that offensive line, wear people down. Swift had 175 yards on 28 carries. I was actually shocked that they kept. But why not? Keep giving it to him. He's a hot hand. He had 12 carries at halftime, so they up the ante on it. But because I feel like they didn't trust Jalen Hurts. He had some splash plays to Devontae, but he missed AJ Brown a good bit, and you could tell that Jalen was confused on some things. I'm not about to sit here and argue with y'all about Jalen Hurts, because for one, Steichen's gone. Anthony Richardson will be successful with Steichen, as you can see early. And Jalen Hurts is, as you can tell, without the direction of Steichen, in my opinion, I just don't think Jalen Hurts is. I know we gave him he's good. He's not great. There's a difference between a star and a superstar.
Right.
But
he's making superstar money.
Right.
And he's being star status out here, so that's not gonna cut it.
It'll be like giving Brock Purdy to Sean Payton.
Why you gotta use my guy?
Trash. Brock Purdy will be trash with Sean Payton. It'll be
Sean Payton. Man, you not see Jameis Cook with Sean Payton? Sean Payton not put them boys in position to fail. He gonna try to put them in position to succeed.
Let me not use your guy because I want you to get into your feelings again. Let me give him to anybody that's a quarterback guru. Boy, I'll tell you what. Give him to Kellen.
Give him to Sean McVay. I don't see what happens. Can Sean McVay use him?
Nothing. He's gonna be like Mr. Irrelevant.
This is the same thing. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
All I was gonna say was this was the same thing we said about Lamar the other day. Jalen has to run. I know he ran it 12 times, but that's not his strength just to sit back there and try to dissect people. You gotta do what you do to how you made that money. You gotta do that same thing. It's like the quarterbacks get this money and they change. They they don't want to do the things they did. They got them the money.
Right.
So
yeah, it was kind of weird too that Dallas Goedert had like 0 catches last week.
That is so crazy to me, man. That's just security.
That is. And so I don't know what Jalen's seeing. They forced some balls to Dallas last night, which is then turned out to be anything.
Question.
So that's why I'm wondering, is he seeing the field clearly?
He see the field clearly. He just
But
he see dead people. Listen though, man. In the NFC Championship game, seriously, if you go back and you watch the game before Purdy get hurt and you watch them filling each other out, they had a sack, they had almost a pick. Fred Warner is getting up, pointing at him in his face. The 49ers were never worried about Jalen Hurt. They was worried about their offensive line being able to handle the Eagles' defensive line. Can we hold up? And they wasn't able to hold up. But had they held up, you would have saw Jalen Hurt get exposed on national TV. Because why? One thing he will struggle with, if you make him matriculate, is a big word, down the field, he got to take his time. You got to take his time to go down the field. That means you got to read coverage, all this zone. No, that ain't happening.
everything's happening fast. We can sit up here and talk about, you got to sit back here and look at everything. But if you ever just paid attention to the field, I don't know if y'all ever seen the head film that Tua had on his camera. Have y'all ever seen that footage?
Yeah, we saw it.
How fast the defense moves, and he's having to try to read that in about 2.5 to 3 seconds. You have to make a decision because somebody's breathing up and down your back or your neck.
Yeah, that's why I was in a good quarter.
I'm gonna go out on the limb.
Go.
Take help out of the equation, and just say they both is healthy. Tua is a more accurate, more better quarter. I'm with it. I've seen it. I don't seen enough. Tua is better because Tua.
Jalen, my boy, I don't know yet.
The only thing that people can say about Jalen, and I knew I'm still high on him. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to down him or nothing. But to me, the only thing people can really say about Jalen is he's a great leader. It's fine.
But he could be Eric Snow. Listen, he could be Eric Snow. Eric Snow, a great leader. He can be the rah-rah guy in the middle of your huddle. If it's not Drew Brees, Drew Brees will lead the huddle, but then if you go to other teams, it's random guys. But can he go out on the field and lead us? Like I don't feel like he can do it.
Hold on now. We got to give Philly defense some slack too before we move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look terrible. That back end looked terrible.
I can't wait to play them.
They don't look like a Super Bowl. To be honest, they don't look like a Super Bowl team.
What
Gardner Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. Start paying Gardner Johnson.
The Lions will. The Lions. He gonna have interceptions for the Lions.
He's a
go
dog.
ahead, Flowers. Go ahead and touch on the Eagles' lack of secondary.
Lack of secondary, lack of pass rush. This is not. Like we said before, this is not the same defense from last year. Components are missing. Veterans are missing. I am a key component on veterans on defense. The best defenses in the league are filled full of vets that have been playing with each other. They're in tune. They're in the primes. Philly let go of some of them vets. They're trying to refill them. Cheap and young. It's gonna take some time.
Jalen Carter, though. Hey,
what Jalen Carter?
That's a boy right there.
He had 2 tackles. They got the Kirk Cousins 2 times last night.
But Jalen Carter was the only one that created pressure, though. And big Jordan Davis, do you not see that big Jordan Davis?
Jordan Davis got a sack. Yes, I see it. But it's not the same thing from last year.
Okay, Ben.
They're not. That's not scaring San Francisco, and that's not scaring Dallas right now, in my opinion.
Ben, is their defensive line better than New Orleans? Put you in the pickle.
Yeah.
Crazy. Bro, listen.
Yeah, they are for real.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
I feel like they are. Their D-line is better than
There's something to be said about chemistry. Cam Jordan is the glue of the defensive line.
I'm gonna say it's not about Cam Jordan, but after Cam Jordan, who else do we have?
Listen, but they make plays. They made it hard for Tennessee. I really felt like Kirk Cousins was drinking coffee.
He was.
He was slicing his dice.
He was drinking coffee and reading his newspaper.
What
he
I
looked really comfortable.
He looked really comfortable.
His slippers.
He looked really comfortable.
Matt Jones threw the ball 50+ times last week, and he was sacked only twice. Kirk Cousins 44 times, sacked only twice. You're not getting the picture.
That's sacks, though. Hey, some teams don't even come up with sacks.
They had 70 sacks last year.
70.
That's hard to duplicate, though. Come on, guys. Y'all know it's hard
But
to.
listen,
Hassan Reddick, they still got majority of them same pieces.
I'm
And
saying,
the
but
same
that's
person
hard
that you
to
gas up.
reproduce that season. 70 sacks. Come on,
Okay,
that's
I
a lot of
understand
sacks.
70, but when you think they have at least about 8 in 2 games, you would think, or 9 or 10 with the pass rush they got.
What's the pressures looking like? Let me see the pressure rate.
This is the
I want
thing.
to see what's the sack rate. They're
Pro
giving up
football
300 plus
focus
yards
told
in the
me.
air a game.
Pro
Did
football
Pro
focus
tell you
told me
that?
that there's something to be said losing Javon Hargrave. Pro
Right.
football focus said it's going to be hard to replace him, not because he's just this world of a great player, because he played in Pittsburgh, Philadelphia Knights, and San Francisco. It's the experience. They've been there. They know how to. It's like, to me, having him still there with Jalen Carter would make then you still be able to dominate, because he can teach Jalen Carter and bring him along. It's like there are gonna be points in the season where that young nucleus that they have in Philly hadn't been there and hadn't experienced that, and it's gonna frustrate the guys that have. And but my thing is, no teams are the same after the Super Bowl, so maybe this is their, they had to let somebody go. I don't know what the cap situation like, but hey, I would have figured it
It's
out.
hell now. I mean,
Yeah,
they
since they
paying
paid Jalen.
Jalen Hurts. Okay,
All right,
where's
let's
the
move.
Nolan Smith kid? I'm sorry, where's the Nolan Smith kid? I ain't heard his name or anything
Right.
like that.
And nobody talking about. We talking about Jalen Carter. Everybody how Jalen Carter. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. All right, let's go into our game picks. The Falcons are the favorites, -2 coming into this game. The injuries for the Packers are Aaron Jones questionable, Christian Watson's questionable with hamstrings, both of them. Quay Walker's questionable with a concussion, and so they got good amount of people, star players that might be out for this game.
After week 1, damn, they fragile.
NFL.
Flowers. Do you like the Falcons in this game? Vegas have them -2.
That says a lot that Vegas has them -2, because Vegas usually give you 3 points when you're at home. So Vegas is undecided. As I was telling you behind the curtain, I feel like Green Bay Packers are going to win this game just off the strength that their components around Jordan Love are more seasoned than the Atlanta Falcons right now. The offensive line will be able to protect Jordan Love. They'll be able to run the ball. Desmond Ridder's going to have to make a play. They can't just depend on these running backs, to make all the plays for you. I know they played, a young Carolina team last week, but it's not the same team. This will be a better team than Atlanta faces, and I just think Green Bay has a little more than Atlanta, so I'm riding Green Bay this week.
RC, what do you expect to see out of this Green Bay team in week 2?
I'm with Flowers on this Green Bay, because I just feel like Aaron Jones is always hurt. If you go back to his, past few years, he's always dinged up. And then I just feel like he said, Green Bay, pretty much that team is seasoned. That team has been to the playoffs. That team know who they are. Atlanta's still trying to figure out who they are. They have a bunch of young pieces. They don't throw to the tight end. I don't know why auto draft picked Kyle Pitts for me.
Kyle Pitts. He's in the pick. That's where he is.
But he just wasting away over there. They don't use him correctly. But Atlanta wants to play the power game. They want to play. They got a coach that want to run the ball and play defense. Early 90s, 2000 type football, and that only gets you beat in close games. So I see Green Bay winning by a touchdown.
Yeah, my only concern about Green Bay, will they be able to stop Bijan Robinson? If I'm them, I want them to pass the ball with Ritter. He only threw the ball 20 times and 22 times and had over 145 passing yards, something like that. So I want to see him throw the ball. If I'm the Packers, that's what I want to see.
Yep.
And I'm choosing the Packers. I just want. I think Gerald Love gonna continue to build on what he's doing. With the Packers. L said he's taking the Packers too, so we on the right track here.
Yeah, we're trying to win some games now. Trying to separate from you.
All right, Vegas have the Bills -8. Is this redemptions for Josh Allen, RC?
Now listen, the fighting Jimmy Garoppolo's impressed me last week.
Really?
Because the one thing about Jimmy Garoppolo, you know, I call him an egg sucking dog because if you think about a dog with an egg in his mouth, it's gonna be hard for him to swallow that egg without cracking it. But Jimmy used to keep that egg in his mouth without breaking it, then the egg breaks and you got yolk everywhere. And I feel like if he stays in the game, they got a chance. Buffalo is too turnover prone. Um, this is one of them games where everybody's expecting Buffalo to bounce back, but
Mm-hmm.
you just don't stop being what you are. You just don't turn it off. And then now you play tight. And I think in this game, Allen comes out and try to be perfect. Unless they take the ball out of his hand and make it about the run game and let him run the ball some, um, I think it's going to be closer than the experts expect. But I will not go with the Raiders because I can't see I mean, with everything Jimmy did, they should have lost. So I'm gonna go with Buffalo in a close one.
Wow, ill. Yeah. Flowers. Do Jimmy G? They beat the Broncos last week. Can they do it again? Get 2 wins in a row?
I don't know about 2 wins in a row, but I will tell you now that minus 8.5 Buffalo way, that's too high.
It's too
I
high.
would definitely play the points with Las Vegas this week. I would even bump it up. They had it 8.5 or 8.
Yeah.
Eight on Bravado.
Bump it up 9. I bump it up to 9.5.
Mm.
Las Vegas way plus 9.5 to be on the safe side. I think that's good money.
They was kind of struggling with the Broncos. It wasn't a high scoring game.
But the Broncos
Bills
defensively, I'm sorry.
That's what I was about to say. The Bills defense, they can get after you too, and they can create some turnovers. So
Yeah.
I think that the Bills gonna have a different game plan coming into this. I don't see Josh Allen.
Question.
Oh, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Why are we so locked on Garoppolo in the passing game when the Raiders hold the key to beating the Bills and they're just handing it off to Jacobs and letting him
turn around and hand it off, bro?
Well, that worries me too. Jacobs, he didn't have too good of a game.
It's not like the Broncos, though. Somebody
they let Brees Hall hit an 80-yarder on him, something like that, 70-yarder. So can Jacob get loose? That's the question. I still think that's not going to be enough.
I'm taking the Bills close now. Don't get me wrong. I'm taking the Bills to win this game.
Yeah, that's a lot of questions in the game. It'll be very unsettling if the Bills drop this game because now it's a little bit of boiling water there for the head coach. You know, things are getting a little hot on what they say, getting hot underneath the collar a little bit.
If they drop this game, it'll be Josh Allen's fault.
But listen, I'm gonna put it on one of my tickets.
McDermott.
I'm picking the Raiders outright on one of my tickets. On one of the tickets, I'm gonna have Buffalo. On one of the tickets, I'm gonna have Raiders. So, because I've seen this move before. I've seen people get on and expect you to get up. San Francisco been in this many years. Like we start slow. I've seen us. They'll win next week against such and such and then lose. You gotta go do it. And see, the one thing about Josh Allen, he's if it's just human nature, he's gonna try to come out and be different and protect the ball. And that's not who he is. It's like asking Brett Favre not to be him. So let's see how he deals with fighting with himself.
I think he's gonna be fine. Because Pro Football Focus pointed out, Josh Allen might give you 2 or 3 turnover worthy plays, but he making 10 plus 11 big plays.
So that's why I don't want to hear you diss. Don't diss Cam Newton ever again on here because you giving this man a pass.
Thank you for bringing up Cam Newton. You follow Cam Newton on IG?
I ain't studying that. We're talking about his career. And so I'm talking about a quarterback. Josh Allen has done what to be put in a position where if this was Dak Prescott, we'd be giving Dak Prescott hell.
Right. But Cam Newton don't have 10 plus big plays, big time throws in the game. He have big time runs, but not big time throws.
Who's turned the ball over more, Josh Allen or Cam Newton?
It's about equal. Cam used to fumble. Remember Cam used to have fumbleitis? He had a lot of fumbleitis.
Listen, I'm gonna say this.
Yeah,
you need to have the same energy about Dak Prescott. Dak don't got 90 turnovers in
Dak
his
don't have a
career.
track record of that though. That was
Yes,
only
Not
he
this
1
many
does.
year.
turnovers. Not this many turnovers.
Not this
That
Like
many.
Josh
Well,
Allen.
I'll go out on limb. I say Josh Allen only throw 1 interception in this game.
Okay, I mean,
That's it.
but this is the thing, bro. He don't have to throw none because you know
Mhm.
why? Listen, this dude out there doing punt, pass, and kick. Like,
What's the ratio? Hold on, RC. What's the ratio of 1 interception to 10 plus big plays, big time throws? What's the ratio of that? So
Who
he
says
making
he gonna
more.
make 10 big throws? Whoa.
He do it all the time.
what he did.
Okay.
Bro, they up 13-3.
I'm taking the
They
Bills
up
anyway.
13-3. They
I'm
up
taking the Bills.
13-3. And this dude is out here punt, passing, and kicking the ball. Like, you gotta understand something, bro. It's okay to be a fan, brother. It's okay to be a fan, but this is what's gonna hurt people who bet with Josh Allen. Got me
I'm
last year.
betting on him. I'm taking the Bills.
It's
So,
what hurt. I'm
wait,
rolling
wait,
with it.
wait, wait.
I'm
So
rolling with
would
it.
you take the 8 on the Bills, or you gonna take that? I mean, because if you take money
I'll take
line,
the
it's
8 on the
probably
Bills.
330 or something like that.
Yeah, it's
So
like
you actually
330.
gonna take the 8? You actually gonna take the 8 on the Bills? The
Bill-
cover 8 points.
Have not the Bills been an explosive team? Have they not put up points in rats? I mean, rats on rats, right? I mean, that's what they do. So they had an
No,
off game versus the Jets in New York with all their emotion.
they did
It
not
was
have an
it was
off
just
game.
bad
They was up
timing.
13-3 at one time. Dude decided,
Okay,
you know
that's what
what?
I'm saying. So they can't be up 13-3 on the Raiders.
Look, yes, but this is my thing. They're up 13-3, and he just decides I got to just add some razzle to the dazzle. Like, dude, we don't need you to do nothing extra. The cake got icing on the dude. Like, what you doing? We don't need
I,
more icing on the cake.
I do have one question. Where is Damian Harris? I thought they're gonna use him a little bit more.
Because
It's
you
the
got
same
punt,
old,
pass,
same
and
old, man.
kick.
And who falls? They not use Damian Harris in the offense. It's
I mean,
blowing
you
my
got
mind.
Baby Cook back there that can run the rock and catch it, but they're not giving it to him. You got to blame McDermott and you got to blame Dorsey for that.
Yeah, that's wild. All right. Vegas have the Bengals -3.
It's a tough pick.
So this is a tough one. Flowers. Who need this game more, Lamar or Burrow?
Whew. You know what? That's a good question. As of now, I'm gonna say Lamar needs it more because everybody has just given the Bengals just the benefit of the doubt that the Bengals will come back around, they'll be fine. So I'm gonna put it on Lamar to go in here, and he's been successful against the Bengals. I'm gonna give it to Lamar. I'm gonna pick the Baltimore Ravens this week. I think it's gonna be a ugly slugfest kind of a game, but I'm still trying to figure out what Cincinnati is. I truly don't know. I know they have Joe. I know they got T, chasing all this, but still defensively, I still don't know what Cincinnati truly is. And again, somebody like Lamar, and they're trying to figure themselves out also. I just feel like I'm gonna ride with Lamar this week just because of the success overall against Joe and the Bengals included, as a whole. And I just think that Baltimore probably will win this in a 23-20 kind of game.
I'll agree with you. There we go. My only question is, okay, Mark Andrews is questionable with a quad. Are they gonna be able to move the ball? I know that, of course, they got Zay Flowers. What's calls out with Achilles? What's that dude's name?
DK Dobbins.
Yeah,
JK,
Dobbins.
but they
J.K.
still got
Dobbins is out.
Gus Edwards.
Gus Edwards been
whoever
injury
else.
prone too.
It depends on what Lamar does. Will he ramp it up a little bit with his legs? I just don't think I know, like I say, Cincinnati has some players here and there on defense. I just feel like they lost too much, man, and it's just too early to really know the identity of Cincinnati. Now they can get pressure on Lamar, and create a turnover too. They'll win the game, but I feel like on the other side, Joe and company, man, they're still trying to shake out kinks. And can they block Baltimore? Baltimore's gonna put pressure on and probably get about 3-4 sacks in this game. So we'll see what goes on.
If Baltimore would have blew out the Texans, like right off the rip, then I would probably feel more comfortable picking the Ravens. But I am gonna pick them anyway because I feel like Lamar, it's a new system for him. So I think it just takes time. RC, can the Bengals, pass and run on this Ravens defense.
So the Ravens secondary is banged up as well. Y'all saw that?
Right? I think Marlin's out, if
Okay,
I'm
so
not
listen,
Yeah,
mistaken.
Humphreys out.
listen. The game is when where? Baltimore?
No,
No,
Cincinnati.
since
Okay,
Oh yeah,
Cincinnati get right.
Marcus Williams is out.
Okay, I'm taking Cincinnati. I'm gonna tell you why I'm taking Cincinnati, the bounce back game. Because Baltimore is trying to figure out who they are on offense, which losing their starting running back, and you got the backup banged up. Then they're gonna ask Lamar to be Superman, and then you don't really know what Odell is still trying to find his ways. They flower. They still trying to figure out who they are. Cincinnati knows who they are, and the one thing they can always lay their head on is they can score. They can score the football. Now last week it's a bad matchup playing Cleveland. You look at Cleveland and Cincinnati. Cleveland has their number, but I really feel like that Cincinnati at home gets right and they'll do enough to win that game. It'll be a close game, but with a banged up secondary, I just feel like T. Higgins will step it up. He has
0
to.
catches,
Yeah, he'll bounce back and
8
Cincinnati
targets.
win this game. Going with the
Yeah, it's
Bengals.
gonna be a close one. That the games are always close, especially a division like this one, the end of the AFC North. But I think I'm right with the Ravens. I think they shown a little bit more than the Bengals, and we already know how the Bengals start off with the season. So this might be just playing another part into how they start. All right, the Lions are -5 against the Seattle Seahawks. Is that too high or too low, Flowers?
No, I don't think it's too high. I think that's decent. Because if you think about it, Seattle's missing both of their tackles, so that's going to be a tough day for Geno. So I can definitely see Detroit winning by a touchdown in this game. But -5, that's not bad. But I said you can buy points, of course. Always buy the points, man. So you can knock this down from 5 to 3.5 or even 3. Do that. But most definitely, I'm riding with the Lions this week. I don't think they'll be able to get pressure on Goff. They'll be able to run the ball. They'll be able to throw it. It's at home. I'm quite sure it'll be a sold-out crowd. So a lot for Seattle right now, missing both left and right tackles. They signed Jason Peters this past week. I'm just with the Detroit Lion train right now. So let's just keep riding
I
it.
see. RC, how do Seattle match up against the Lions?
Listen, bro, I think last year we was a year late about the digression of Seattle or them falling back behind. Them starting to see having growing pains for the first time in Pete Carroll tenure. I think it happens now because number one, Geno now has to come into year 2 and duplicate what he did, and now teams have seen Geno for a year. Okay, then
Just
number
off them
2,
tapes.
like you said, you got 2 injuries at key positions. The offensive line is a huge deal in National Football League. The Lions are coming off a high. It seems like they ain't played in forever, so they're gonna be eating it in front of their home crowd. And Aiden Hutchinson is a dog, and
Great pass
so
rush.
without the tackles, it's on and popping. Gardner's a dog. He telling people to wear ski masks, blue ski masks. I really like what the Detroit Lions are. They are what Dallas are. They are what San Francisco are. They are what New Orleans are, and they are what Philadelphia was last year. They nasty with it, and I'm going with the Lions big. So
Yeah, I'm going to lie too. I feel like Geno will come back to planet Earth. He took off last year. Now he's coming back to reality. We saw the defense struggle, which I was kind of surprised about that versus the Rams. It
I don't
seemed
think
like
it's
the
Geno,
line.
Ben. I don't think it's
Huh?
Geno. I think it's 2 right and left tackles out, Ben.
I mean, now I'm just saying he stood. All right, I'm just mentioning that Geno didn't look like Geno.
You're
Y'all
not gonna
Geno
look
that
like
y'all know.
Geno. You missing your tackles.
He stood okay. What is Ty Lockett's playing? I didn't see Jackson name on the injury list, so he still got
Really?
his weapons. I didn't see his name on the injury list.
Okay.
So all his weapons are back. So it's gonna be curious to see how they play against the Lions defense, who are aggressive, who like to attack, and it seemed like Geno was under duress against the Rams, so that kind of surprises me. So I'm taking the Lions in this one. Jared Goff,
What?
he
Jared Goff
looking
say
he
talk
looking
about it, Ben.
okay.
Let
He
me hear
looking
about
okay,
Jared
but
Goff.
he did how come mishaps, misthrows versus Chiefs? But
Oh, you just trying to throw
He's
salt on the
better than
man.
Jared Goff. Put that on the poll.
mm.
And Jared Goff.
You want to poll that?
Hey,
Yeah,
and
please.
Jared Goff. Look at Jared Goff's overall record against Seattle. He don't lose.
Well,
He traditionally
we're
beats
gonna see.
Seattle.
We're gonna see that. We're gonna see what the Lions do. Cause I feel like they took advantage of what happened to the Chiefs, and they seem like they
As they
not
should.
letting up. Yeah, they not
As they
letting up.
should.
So that's telling you how they grown as a team. That they not losing games that they should win.
Yeah, that's good.
They're not losing those
That is
games.
true.
They winning those games. That's the difference.
That's
Last
true.
year they will have lost that game. They will find a way. But this time they said no, we're gonna take those opportunities and put some points on board and win this game. All right, Chargers versus Titans. Chargers are the favorites, 2.5 going into Tennessee. Justin Herbert let you down this week, RC. Are you betting back on Justin Herbert? You going back to the well?
Justin Herbert, he about to be in the all egg sucking dog team. I'm gonna start a team of quarterbacks, egg sucking dogs, quarterbacks and other players, skill position players. But he let me down last week, man. All he needed was one more touchdown between him and Jalen Hurts, and I've been in the money. And I thought for sure, I went to sleep saying, Justin Herbert
Money
gonna
in the
give me that
bag.
touchdown. And I woke up and I'm like, what are you doing, kid? But see, the issue with those guys, Eckler got banged up, even though he had a good game last week. And then it's like defense played well at times, and then they just went to sleep. They'll get an interception, and then they'll turn Tyreek loose. So I think they bounce back here. I really like the Chargers, but I really don't understand the Chargers.
Before you make a pick,
Mhm.
D Hop is questionable with ankle injury.
Eckler's doubtful.
Eckler's out. He's out.
Look,
He's
I don't
out
care.
now.
Kelly had a better. Thank you for telling me so I can take him out of my starting lineup. But Kelly had a better game. Had
That's true.
just as good of a game as Eckler did last week. I ain't worried about the Chargers offense. It's just, and I'm not worried about the Titans. Showed me last week. It don't matter what the hell they do. They just don't have enough at quarterback. So it's Chargers.
Chargers. Flowers. Do you think the Chargers gonna stop Darren Henry or at least corral him?
I don't think they'll be able to do enough, but at the same time, I don't think the Titans have enough to deal with Herbert. I'm picking the Chargers this week. Had to think about it for a minute because, as I always state with Tennessee, they always try to rally you down and get you to play that kind of game. They want it to be rugged, physical, smash mouth. They don't want to get into a throwing competition with Justin Herbert.
That's what's gonna
With
happen.
Eckler being out, that puts more on Herbert's shoulders. So who you gonna pick in this situation, Tannehill or Herbert? Of course, I'm going with Justin Herbert. And like you
And
said, Kelly and company, he can hand the ball off to them. But I just don't think Tennessee has enough on the outside to be able to compete with them.
yes, even Amari Hooker, he's out, the safety for Tennessee, and Christian Fulton is out for Tennessee. So that's
Oh
two.
yeah.
And Peter Swanzik, I think it's Skorzik, that's where his name is. He's out with an illness. Well, he's questionable with an illness. So that's that
Mm-hmm.
guard, I believe. That Ricky guard.
Oh, you're talking okay, the rookie. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the Titans, what happened to Titans versus Saints last game? Saints had some early turnovers with the kickoff. So we kind of got forced into the play Tennessee's way. We wanted to do more, but lucky for us, we built like Tennessee too. We can put points up and we can slow the game down. It just all depends on what how the game going. We can play either way. So, but with the Chargers, I feel like they want to put points up in a hurry, and I think Tennessee they just don't have enough to stop that. The only way they're gonna figure out how to keep the Chargers off the field is run Derrick Henry, and you don't can do so much. Derrick Henry gonna have to put up a big numbers in order to keep this Chargers team off the field. And I just don't see them doing it, especially with that O-line. They was terrible last week. And maybe Khalil Mack and Bosa can get up and pass rush on this team. I'm taking the Chargers, of course. Tennessee, Tannehill just like he's a shell of himself. I don't know how much longer he lasts. He has in the NFL, to be honest. It was awful. They said Pro Football Focus say I think D Hop had 10 targets And out of 10 targets, he wasn't even really open. He was just heaving it to D-Hop.
That's what D-Hop wanted. He got what he wanted.
And I forgot who they said who the next person in targets. They said the tight end, he only had 2 targets the whole game. So
I'm not shocked by that. I'm not shocked by that.
Yeah, that's telling you that he force feeding D-Hop and not caring about anybody else.
They did the same thing with AJ Brown. AJ would get the majority of the targets, and everybody else would get the here and there. So you take away D-Hop, they definitely don't have anything.
Right. All right. The Buccaneers are favorites in this game, 2.5. RC, which Baker gonna show up?
What are they playing?
They playing. Oh my bad. They playing the Bears. Bears.
Really? I'm taking the listen.
Disrespectful.
I watched the Bears last week against against Green Bay. And the one thing, it's like when you watch the Bears, it's like they're missing a lot all the time. It's like gives me the vibes of being overwhelmed by somebody. Like it's almost like every year they ain't got enough of something. And they don't have an identity. And when you don't have an identity in the National Football League, then you're gonna get picked on by a lot of people. You're gonna get ran over. And I think Tampa Bay still have veteran pieces left over from the Brady regime. They still have a great defense that I feel like they can put pressure on the quarterback. And then if Baker plays the way he played last week and don't turn the ball over, they'll win this game easy. I'm going with Tampa Bay. Easy, yeah.
I feel like the Bears could have beat Green Bay last week. They just had unfortunate things go their way, and Justin Fields, he just got corralled, by that rookie DN. I forgot his name. His name's escaping my mind right now. But they did a great job of containing him. I don't know. The Bucs I don't know they're gonna contain Justin Fields.
They're gonna contain themselves. Listen, hey, man,
snap.
I think with you got to get out of like when I pick in my division, I stay away from my feelings when it comes to the hatreds I have for the team, and I really look at it. A perspective. What you got? The Bears' issues are greater than Tampa Bay's issues. It's an easy one. Tampa Bay.
All right, Flowers, we're here. Justin Fields, can he have a back game and will his team to a victory?
It's just hard for me to say he's gonna do this against what RC just said and what me and you were talking about backstage behind the curtain about this game also. Because RC, man, I'm in the same boat with you, man. Tampa Bay is too seasoned of a team on both sides of the ball to lose this game. I just feel like Tampa Bay is gonna win this game off the strength of their veteran leadership. Baker still has the chip on his shoulder and it's early. They still got a lot to play for right now with it being early in the season and starting out 2-0, and then they're at home also. So start out 2-0 early. That's a high probability for teams to make the playoffs. I'm quite sure PFF told you that too. But I just don't think Justin Fields, and it's nothing against the kid. I mean, he's 5-21 in his career.
Wow.
Yes, he's 5-21. And we can say he has weapons and this and that. But the one thing I still see with this kid is he's not patient. It's fine and cool and all that you can run and you're dynamic and explosive when you take off. But that's not how you win in this league. You got to be able to make some throws, in key situations. So I just feel like Tampa Bay, like I said, they're just more seasoned offensively and definitely defensively, So I'll definitely go with Tampa Bay this week.
Hey, Ben.
All right.
Before you answer, bro, are you looking on the Bears side of the defense and you see Brian Urlacher? Do you see Julius Peppers?
I'm not worried about that.
Tell me, who the hell you see over there?
They don't need. They still got Eddie Jackson.
They disappointed me last week.
They had some horrible plays. No, that happened in the Packers game, but was in there. They still had chances, and I feel like the Bucs with Baker, he already had his coming out game. You gonna have another coming out game, guys?
What's so special about the Bears defense?
Nothing. Right. That's what I'm saying. The Bears literally don't have to do nothing. Baker gonna do it all for them.
Oh God!
All right.
Well, Mike
That's what I'm saying. Like,
that.
I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about, can Justin Fields put points on the board? And
How many levels into a defense? You got defensive line, linebacker, and you got secondary. Where is the star?
Eddie Jackson.
Eddie Jackson had a terrible game last week. He had a terrible game.
He gonna have a bounce back game.
Bro.
So again, the Bucs should not have won that game versus Kirk Cousins. Them. Kirk Cousins had a lousy red zone interception. It was, like I said, the game just went the Bucs' way. But you trying to tell me Baker gonna have another solid game?
Yeah.
And then Justin Fields, huh?
Pick the Bears.
Pick the Bears.
Picking the Bears.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I don't do y'all. I don't raise y'all up one. I don't do y'all solid. Right? Since y'all believe in just Fields. Listen here, buddy. Do your thing. Do your thing. I have faith in you, son. I have faith in you. I saw it last year. Just build on that, play your way, and you're gonna get that victory.
Do they play early game or late game?
12.
Okay. So when you go to church, make sure you pray. Only shot he got.
I'm taking the Bears, guys. Watch. I want to show you. I'm trying to tell y'all.
Man, wouldn't be shocked if they won.
They capitalized. Yeah, I'm just saying they capitalized on some opportunities that the Vikings, mishandled. And I think like the Bears gonna clean a lot of stuff up. I feel like they're gonna get DJ Moore more involved. Two passes his way. Come on, that's not gonna get it. So they're gonna get him involved. What we saw in the preseason with DJ Moore.
But you still ain't say what the defense gonna do. You still ain't say what
it's gonna be a scoring game. It's gonna be a scoring game. There's no defense needed. Defense
turnover is needed by somebody.
And I feel like Baker's gonna screw up. He's good.
So you're saying a Ty Bowles led team ain't gonna stop nobody?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
because
the Vikings should have scored on a couple of times, but like I said, Kirk Cousins.
What was the score between the Vikings and the Bucs? It was a close game.
Or 20-17.
What okay. Vikings had? What? No, Vikings had 2 turnovers or 3 turnovers. I can't remember.
So
that fumble, that scrap, that sack, script fumble, that interception in the red zone going into the second half, and I can't remember the other one.
So you're saying the Eagles? You saying the Eagles defense who gave up what they gave up 28 last night?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're saying the Eagles defense, the Vikings, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is better than the Eagles defense right there because Tampa Bay.
I think the Eagles defense kind of let up after a while.
Oh, sure.
You don't let up. You never let. That's how you lose.
They got caught sleepwalking a couple times.
But
hear me out, guys.
30 yards in
believe Justin Fields gonna have a bounce back game. It's not gonna look like what y'all saw versus the Packers. It was a division game, first of all. So the Packers know them very well.
Okay. I'm hoping you're right, sir, because I like Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. All right. The Chiefs are favorite 3.5 coming into this game in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence, Sunshine, he's shining bright against the Chiefs, RC.
It's a big game.
Yes, it is.
Because it's Doug Peterson getting the opportunity to send a message to Andy Reid. You're going to have to see me again after what happened in the playoffs. So what I want you to understand right now, I'm watching that game last week with the Colts and the Jaguars, and I saw them face adversity. Both teams, and both teams responded well, by the way. But I like what I saw in Jacksonville. Like, okay, all right. You know, it's kind of like in training day when Jake keeps doing stuff and Alfonso say, okay, Jake, all right, kid, all right. And so that's where I met with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think Jacksonville wins this game because they want to send a message. Now I know Andy Reid, they're going to get up off the mat, but they got injuries all over the place. And Chris Jones still has. Did he sign?
Yeah, he's back. He playing.
Okay, he's still
like a 1 year or something.
It won't matter. I'm picking the Jags.
Yeah, I understand what you talking about, RC. So Flowers, is this a statement game for the Jags?
It can be. I don't know if it will be, but it can be. And I'm only saying that I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs this week only because of the scrutiny that they had to face within the last 10 days. You got Kelsey back. You got Chris Jones back. Andy Reid coming off losses. You know how that goes with him. Now, don't get me wrong, Jacksonville can definitely win this game, especially with Calvin Ridley and Lawrence connection that I seen last week. Something special with that. Keep reminding people that of all year that it's a special connection. But with Kelsey being back, it just opens up more things because they have to focus on Kelsey. So people like Kadarius Toney, which he actually, I think he came to the podium yesterday or this morning and finally took some accountability for his actions. So I would think, whether it's Sky Moore or Tony, one of these kids are going to have a big game, and Patrick Mahomes will be out to try to prove, naysayers wrong as far as probably thinking the Chiefs are probably about to start slow. I want to pick Jacksonville, but something's just telling me to go with Kansas City. So I'm going Kansas City.
All right, Flowers. You done changed my damn mind. I'm going with the
No,
Chiefs.
RC, I'm about to mark you down. No,
Hey,
RC.
okay, listen, okay, what you do? Let me tell you what you do. You take that thing, you move it back where it's supposed to be at. I'm going with the Chiefs. Flowers just changed my mind because what he said. See, that's why you gotta be able to give, B. You gotta be able to say admit when you're wrong. I'm wrong, and I know it.
You're wrong now.
The Chiefs gonna kick the Jaguars' ass, son. Put me down for the Chiefs. Ain't no way Andy Reid going 0-2.
So I try to play this game out of my head. It's very
Hold
difficult.
on, before you say the thing. Did you change my pick? Because you know you.
Yeah, I did. I put you
Okay,
down
well,
to the Chiefs. It's I want to ride with the Jaguars because of their offense. I feel like the Chiefs defense cannot stop them. They struggle against the Lions offense. Then I feel like it's gonna be the same thing with the Jaguars with Travis Etienne, somebody more dynamic. Even with Jahmyr Gibbs, they're having a problem with Gibbs with his splash runs. So I feel like that the Chiefs, if they don't corral this offense, then they're gonna be in trouble. Oh shoot, there you go, RC. They're gonna be in trouble. But I cannot see Patrick Mahomes losing back-to-back games with Kelsey or without Kelsey.
Without they losing. Without
you think
Kelsey
so?
going to Jacksonville, they
But Kelsey still, I know he had a little joke. He ran on the field and he acting like his leg hurt. And then he started twerking. And he acting, I still think he's still injured. I don't think he's 100%.
I mean, hyperextended his knee, so
yeah, I hyperextended my knee before.
Yeah, so
and I was out.
Yeah, it depends,
Well, listen, man. With all that being said, if you go back to that game Thursday night and you watch what Patrick Mahomes did on national TV with hamburgers, with Walmart employees and Burger King employees, he basically them guys were open. They just dropped the ball, and that's not gonna happen.
That's why I'm going with Chiefs. Cause Scott Moore, I mean, he was in there most of the time, but they only targeted him once. And that one time he did target, it was a big play, but they called it back. That was a holding call. Right. So yeah, the Jaguars, they there, but I don't know if they good enough to go toe to toe.
If the game would have been I'm like you guys too. If Kelsey don't play, there's no way.
I think I would took Chiefs. They had opportunities to beat the Lions. They screwed up when they threw the pick six, and that where the whole game shifted when he did that. So I feel like they was on their way to not blow out the Lions, but be up 2 scores on them.
Yeah. But it's different when you're at home, though.
Yeah. That's why I felt like that. So
if they lose this game, though, they're gonna be in a bind.
Yeah.
So, but with them being on the road with the Chargers, with the Jags, it's gonna be a close one. That's for sure. All right, this is weird, but okay. The test, the Vegas have the test is 1.5 versus the Colts. Flowers. You got anything to say to Vegas?
No. I mean, it's telling you all you need to know. They feel like it can go either way. Like I say, you get 3 points automatically for being at home. So they giving Houston minus 1.5, 2 points. They saying, it's a toss up in their minds. But I'm not about to pick the Texans against the Colts, man. Especially with our defense, with the pieces we got on defense alone, Stroud's gonna have a long day. I'm quite sure he'll complete some passes. He might get a touchdown or so, maybe. But just honestly, he's not gonna be able to handle what we do with him defensively. DeForest Buckner, Kwity Paye, Big Grove, all these guys, man. The front seven is gonna be, spectacular. I'm always big on Houston not having pieces on the outside ever since they lost DeAndre Hopkins. I know the Nico Collins kids, they can play, but it's nothing that fears me like Calvin really feared me last week, as I told you before the game happened. Other than Calvin Ridley and Trevor Lawrence having some splash plays, Jacksonville really, we really kept them wrapped up.
Yeah.
ETN wrapped up, until he had that breakaway at the end of the game. But overall, man, defense had it sold. But Anthony Richardson, man, he'll. I'm predicting he'll probably have 2-3 touchdowns. I got the Colts winning by a touchdown. I don't see this thing going down to Houston and losing.
I would have thought the Colts would have been the favorites, like by 3.5, maybe 4 points. Just how y'all play against the Jaguars.
Vegas is sneaky. See, Vegas will trick you into playing money. On a lot of these lines, like I said, the 8.5 line with Buffalo. Who in the hell? If you're literally thinking with common sense, why would you bet Buffalo 8.5 against the Raiders? I mean, of course they could cover, but that is too big of a number to try to cover against a team that can, especially teams that can score. Like Baltimore and Houston last week, they had Baltimore -9, 8.5, 9. I understand taking that one, but
right.
Oh yeah, Deion Jackson. I'm quite sure Deion Jackson won't start this week. Zach Moss will be in there, so there'll be a better pop to the run game this week. I'm expecting a better run game this week to help Anthony Richardson. And there has been a JT sight. He was in the facility today training, so beware.
Hey, guys, your boy right here almost had JT in our league.
Passed up on him?
Huh?
You passed up on him?
Nah. So somebody messaged me. They're like, "Hey, I'm trying to drop JT." I said, "You trying to do what?" He said, "I'm trying to drop JT." I said, "Why you trying to do that for?"
You
made
him think about it. You talk too much.
Nah, because look, it wouldn't be like I could just honor his request because JT's on the can't cut list.
Oh, okay.
Well, on Yahoo, you have
players.
You
in that you in the certain draft to where you gotta can't cut, you gotta hold on.
You got your star players, you gotta hold on. It just keep people from releasing and people gathering up on star players creating a super team. So he came to me, said, "I want to cut JT." I said, "Why would you want to do that?" He said, "Because JT gonna be out, certain amount of time. He don't know he's gonna play." I said, "I can cut him, but I tell you this: if I cut him, I'm picking him up soon. I cut him, so you might want to keep him." So it was just funny that me and him had a conversation about that. RC, CJ Stroud, can he cover that 1.5 and get this win?
No. I feel like watching them play some last week. I didn't see all of the game, but I watched them play enough to say that. I feel like they're young in a lot of positions that Indianapolis have veteran leadership. They're young in a lot of key positions that you need to win in the National Football League. I think this ain't the week that D'Amico get his first win. CJ, they need to rely on the run game, but they're not going to be able to run these guys. I think, I just think that I don't like what they have, or they're not using Dalton Schultz over there. Like I said, that kid right now really don't. To me, I feel like he looks like Jalen Hurts and others at times, in the National Football League. When he gets overwhelmed, you can tell he's overwhelmed. So I expect that out of him. He's a rookie. But I just feel like Indianapolis is ahead of them, and this is where they get their first win. Colts.
It was kind of weird that the Texans only gave the ball to Dameon Pierce 11 times. Like that game it wasn't a blowout till later in the third or fourth quarter. Like third, fourth. So why do you not just rely on Dameon Pierce to keep them ball off the field?
I was shocked with that many times.
That's unacceptable. What? 44 times for CJ.
44 times.
44 times.
This is the thing about the National Football League that's weird. Like, if I'm gonna have a kid throw that much as a rookie, I go out, I get DeAndre Hopkins his first year. I don't get him a veteran receiver with Nico Collins. Or I try to make a trade or make a move, or I'm trying to get pieces around him if I want him to be that type of quarterback. Instead, you bring him in this year, you get him a tight end, and you got Nico Collins, but Nico Collins is not a household name. You really don't give him nothing to throw at 44 times.
You're right.
So it's like, bro, like it goes back
Mhm.
to, like I said, hiring a defensive coordinator and him gonna have to go through offensive coordination until he find one that can just focus on that part of it. Because that's what the
Yeah,
Jets got going on. The Jets have that
like
same
they
issue.
drafted Tank Dell for that reason to get him involved. He put him in that Zay Flowers, but Tank Dell was only target how many times? 4 times.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't get him a rookie who has to learn with him.
Right.
You go
But I'm
bring
saying
back.
they didn't try to get him into like scheme up plays for Tank Dell like they did Zay Flowers with
What
the
I would have did,
Ravens.
I would have convinced Odell, brought back DeAndre Hopkins with Nico Collins. It just makes sense. It just makes sense to give Nick, really and truly, CJ Stroud with Odell Beckham is better than Odell Beckham with Lamar Jackson, because Odell's a pass catcher. You know, he's gonna run routes. He good after the catch. He needs to play with a quarterback that plays from the pocket. So I don't know. Good luck,
Yeah.
Houston. It ain't gonna be this week though.
Yeah, I'm taking the Colts. All right, 49ers are favorite 7.5 going into Los Angeles Rams. RC, you like
Well,
that?
we're going home. That's our home stadium. We don't lose there. We lost in the NFC Championship game a few years ago. We should have beat them. But my
Yeah.
thing is, you won't hear You won't hear this, Ben. Oh my God, you won't hear that. You won't hear that. The win instead of that guy, he is good. 99 is good as advertised. I think we have their number. They have one of the worst rosters in the National Football League. If we lose this week, it's a major letdown. Niners
Right, it's
B.
an upset.
Yep.
Oh, Flowers, are you gonna take the Rams in this one?
Hell no.
Your lock of the week?
Hell no. Look, this be my lock of the week right here. San Francisco big.
Yeah.
Very, very big.
Lock it in.
Lock it
You want me
in.
to lock it in for you?
Man, lock it in, fuck. Listen here. Matt Stafford ain't gonna be able to hear himself think. It's gonna be so loud for the 49ers fans and that. He gonna be able to hear himself think. It's gonna be a home game for the 49ers, like RC's telling you now. Like they can't compete with that, man. It'll be Aaron Donald and a bunch of Smurfs going against the 49ers, man. That's not gonna work.
Yeah, even Puka,
Yeah.
he's questionable.
Yeah.
So yeah, they might not have Puka.
Yeah. I want to see him though. They bragging on him. Yeah, I want to see Puka.
Yeah, he said, yeah.
Look, Puka got to run through 3 levels of all pros. I don't see it.
Right. That's probably why he said, "Coach, I'm hurt. I don't skip this one. Yeah, ain't gonna throw me 15 balls and get me lit up. Cause that's how many targets he had last game. All right, I'm taking the
still hurt.
Yeah.
Cup ain't back until week 5.
What he got?
Hamstring issue.
Who got paid and got the hell out of that? Didn't he?
Well, said Triple Crown. Deuces.
Let me say something real quick. I ain't gonna try to hold this up. There's no problem with wideouts being hurt and being paid big money, but people want to bitch and complain about the running backs.
Yeah.
All right.
One second.
All right. I'm taking the 49ers in this one.
I think the Rams. I thought you
I almost said the Rams. I almost screwed up for a minute.
Go on, pick them.
All right. The Giants are favorites in this game, 4.5 over the Cards. Cardinals at home. Joshua Dobbs, I believe that's his name, Mr. Dobbs. Flowers, are the Giants gonna have a bounce back game versus the Cardinals?
Hell yeah, they're gonna have a bounce back game. I am always big on teams like the Giants to get whooped like this in a week prior. So it's been a tough week of practice, a lot of critiquing, a lot of criticism. So I'm quite sure the Giants want to put the best thing on the field. They have an opponent in Arizona that's terrible. We all know this. They're terrible. So the Giants, I would think the Giants will win by 2 scores.
RC, if Danny Dimes screws up and loses game, what happens?
They're gonna have to move from New York. And ain't gonna be because they trade him. He's gonna have to live in Brooklyn somewhere because he ain't gonna be able to live in New York. I don't know. Matter of fact, he might have to go to Philadelphia somewhere and get a home because I mean, he got to get as far away from New York as he can. They don't play over there. But I will say this about the Cardinals. I watched them play against the Commanders, and they was scrappy. You know, Buda Baker was flying around. You know, their defensive line was getting after Sam Howell, putting him in finger four leg locks. It was just, I really like what I kept waiting on them to get blown out, and they just kept
Yeah, me
fighting and
too.
fighting.
First
So
game.
the Giants better come. They better figure out their offensive line situation because the Cardinals – Sam Howell was running for his life. And so I'm not going to pick the Cardinals because I feel like I expect a Brian Dable team to respawn. So
Right.
I'm not going to look at this situation and say Rudy's going to show up against the Giants. But they better, I wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals upset them. I'm going with the Giants.
I'm going to be watching this game very intensely,
Mm-hmm.
especially on Daniel Jones, because
Yeah.
I want to see how he responds to this Cardinals defense. You know, they was all over Sam Howell.
Yeah.
They had that sack script fumble and ran in
Yeah.
for a touchdown.
Yeah.
How
So
can't run like Danny Dimes though?
he can't. But you know, that just shows you that the Cardinals, they were coming. And
Yeah.
they said,
First
what we
game.
have to lose. They said,
First
what do we have to lose? You know, everybody doubted us. We probably the worst team in the league. We don't have Kyle Murray. I mean, that's all we can do is just go out and play. What's
You
that?
want another lock of the week?
What's that?
Saquon's gonna have a big game this week. They're gonna run the ball.
Yeah, we saw Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson had a little bit of success. So Saquon should have double that, right?
You would
But
think.
the Giants,
You would think.
yeah, the Giants better not half step because if they sleep on the Cardinals, because Washington, they were sleeping a little bit. Then Washington like, oh snap, these boys are playing.
That was week one.
But
Everybody's excited.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but the Giants been embarrassed. They've been a laugh stock all damn week.
Yep.
All
The
right.
Cardinals not winning this game. The Cardinals.
I know it. Yeah, I'm giving the Cardinals faithful some
Now if they
hype.
do,
And the Giants too. They play the Cardinals this week. Cardinals gonna scrap with them, and then they play Thursday night against the Niners. They better get their shit together because this is the one thing too. The Giants were talking shit about the 49ers, the way they lost in the NFC Championship game. You got Kayvon Thibodeau talking about how we could have did that. So just go on and be ready to fight with the bully on Thursday night. Danny Dimes. I bet I dropped him. If you want to know this, I dropped his ass that same night.
Danny Penny, son. Danny
Like
Penny, son. Yeah, I'm taking the Giants in this one, even though I don't be laughing my butt off if the Cardinals beat them.
I wouldn't be shocked.
All right, the Cowboys are favorites, 9.5 at home versus the Jets. Zach Wilson, hold on. Aaron Rodgers came out and said this about old Zach. Let's see, can I pull it up real quick? He said, I'm very confident in Zach Wilson. I think he's confident in himself. RC, that confidence is enough to get through the Cowboys.
Listen to me, man.
RC, take this one.
The Jets defense, bro, is the real deal.
Yeah.
And Dak Prescott is going to give them something at some point. And this is going to come down between Zach Wilson and Dak Prescott. Who cannot make the big mistake to put the other defense in harm's way? This is my lock of the week. I'm taking the Jets. Shoot. I'm taking the Jets in the upset. Yeah. I'm let down for the Cowboys.
I like it. I like it.
Hey, RC.
I like it.
Flowers, what you feeling about this game?
I don't know if I'm bold enough like RC to take the Jets outright. Now, I probably would play the points. I think it's like 8.5. I think that's too high for Dallas with somebody like the Jets coming into town that they're going to run the ball. They're not going to probably try to put Zach Wilson in harm's way this week, especially what happened to Aaron Rodgers. So I would think it would be a lot of Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook, a lot of screens, a lot of stuff in that order. Now, like RC's telling you, the key is what's Dak going to give you this week? Even though they beat the hell out the Giants, last week. That was the defense and the special teams doing all the heavy lifting. Dak didn't have to do shit. Excuse my language, America. But is Dak gonna throw an interception? Dak gonna turn it over? I would hope not. For the sake of Dak, especially with this being at Dallas, and I'm quite sure this is the primetime game. So I am going to go with Dallas this week, but I am very weary. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets somehow pulled this off, but as of what I'm seeing, I'm gonna give Dallas the benefit of the doubt. I didn't give it to them last week, silly me, but I'm giving it to them this week. I'm gonna go Dallas.
Yeah, I can feel the worriness about taking the Jets or taking the Dallas, because it can go either way. If Zach can screw it up and the Cowboys win, or Dak can screw it up and the Jets win, it's all about who can take care of the ball the best. And I feel like how the Cowboys are calling plays now, they not having Dak throw it a whole bunch of times. He didn't look great versus the Giants passing the ball, so that kind of worried me a little bit. But I feel like they're not going to try to put Dak in those situations where he throwing it that many times in games. So
Listen
Tony
to what
Pollard,
you're saying, man. You gotta make. How much money he make a year?
who Dak?
Yeah.
I don't know.
40.
Okay, let's say making 42 million. You gotta be careful with. Go ahead.
I mean, it's just some quarterbacks. Some quarterbacks you don't want them throwing that many passes in a game. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, there's something wrong with that when you're paying him elite quarterback money.
But it's a great secondary. So you don't want to just be pass happy versus this team. That's what I'm saying. You just don't want to do that. That's what they want.
I do have a question. So what if the Jets put Sauce on CD? Who's gonna beat them? I just thought about this.
Well, who you have? Brandon Cooks. You have.
You trust that?
Brandon Cooks. He been reliable.
To who?
Very reliable.
To who?
Huh?
To Dak? No, we haven't seen it.
Well, this is his first year. He was reliable with the Texans. He was reliable. Who was that? Who was he with before the Texans? Was the Patriots?
He was with the Patriots.
The Saints.
Oh, you don't remember him with the Saints?
No, I'm talking about before the Texans. Was it the Patriots? I think it was another stop in between there.
If I'm the Jets, and you just told
Rams. That's what.
He ain't been with a lot of people. But if I'm the Jets and you told me that we gonna put Sauce on CD, and the next guy I got to worry about
DJ Reed
is Brandon Cooks, we kicking y'all ass.
Did Michael Gallup? Did Michael Gallup even play last week?
I'm tempted to change my pick. I really am.
It's in Dallas.
This the problem Dallas got this week, sir. Is the same problem the Giants got. The Giants had. The Giants had a major letdown. Okay, so now the Brian Dable team has to respond. The Cowboys had a major. I'm talking about they put up a 40 piece. So it's like you coming off that high, you really feeling yourself. But now you finna look in the mirror at yourself because this team looks just like you do. And the thing about the Jets is they were down 13-3, okay? And they were still playing defense like they were up. They were playing defense like it was 0-0.
But you don't think the Cowboys can play the same defense? Like they
Listen,
playing
bro,
like
I don't think the Cowboys are 40 points better than. I think the Giants had a bad day.
Yeah, they took care of the ball. Yeah, I don't think they buried it in 40 points, but I feel like the Cowboys can bring it too, though.
Here's the issue: you score. Look at that game. They get a pick six, and then they
block field goal.
Okay, 14. Okay, it was just avalanche. You're not getting that in this game, sir. You're going to see me for 4 quarters. So
block field goal. Yeah, but that's what it'll come down to. If they can not turn the ball, or just not turn the ball over, then
that worries me about them, dude. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You can see turnovers on both sides of the ball. That's why you like who had the least amount of turnovers gonna win the game. Point blank.
I don't trust Zach Wilson. I don't trust Dak Prescott.
You trust Dak more than Dak?
No, I don't trust either one. But I think my thing, who has the more reliable run game? Pollard is doing it by himself. Cook, Breece Hall can get you 7 points on one run because Dallas is a very aggressive defense. Screen, get the ball out your hand quick. If Nathaniel Hackett Sir, please just get the ball out that kid hand quickly to the skill position player. Because I think if you're just going for far as skill players on offense, just got better players.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Jets overall has a better team. But
Just the offensive line, just the only thing that scares me.
Yep. And against the Cowboys, that's a problem. So
Yeah.
get the ball out your hand if they don't have it. Get it out of his hand.
I'm gonna switch my pick.
Stay with the Cowboys.
I'm gonna switch my pick.
Ride them Cowboys.
This would be the game that Zach Wilson. I can see like all this coming on Zach Wilson's shoulders, and I feel like he's like, oh yeah, this is my time. This is what he's been waiting for. Aaron Rodgers already gave him the thumbs up. So,
but think about the Buffalo game. Think about the Buffalo.
Yeah, that's
game.
what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about that defense too. That defense is unbelievable.
Think about the emotions the Jets are playing with also.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking about. They rallying around Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers co-signing Zach Wilson right now.
But also,
you still taking the Cowboys? I think Cowboys are feeling themselves. That's another reason why I'm taking the Jets. I'm
gonna take the Jets.
The Cowboys, it got my nerves. They're feeling themselves. I feel the Giants really gave them 21.
Dominate the Jets defense. Now listen, here's the thing. If the Cowboys come out and punch the Jets defense, if the Jets don't turn the ball over, they win this game. But if they
run the ball,
and that's what I'm saying. That's what the Giants didn't have. They didn't have a receiver to scare them.
Now the O-line too, Jets. The Jets O-line, that's another concern.
They can run it on you though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the part about football people don't speak about enough. Okay, of course the offensive line, but you gotta have something to scare my defense. Who do the Giants have that just scare you?
That's where they messed up by letting go them guys.
Okay, but look at Garrett Wilson. This is the Garrett Wilson or Garrett Wilson? Garrett Wilson.
Garrett.
And then you look at Alan Lazard. You look at Conklin at tight end. You look at Nicole Harmon. You look at Breece Hall and Cook. They got the players to say, "Hey, listen, you rush forward us, we can hurt you. Okay, if you blitz with us, we can hurt you." Is Zach Wilson not trying to be? It's the same way you want them to do with Dak. They need to do that way. Be that way with Zach Wilson. Say, hey, listen, play within yourself.
Yeah, it's gonna come down to the Cowboys secondary. If Diggs don't have them type of games where he playing catch up most of the game, trying to beat Deion, trying to bait him too much, then it's gonna be a close one. But if he's just out there locked down, then it just all depends. Stephon Gilmore, he had a solid game too. So it's a toss up. I see why it's they got Cowboys 9.5 favorite. That's a big margin.
That's a big number, man. Especially that's a big number to cover, even with Dallas. Just as I said, everybody's riding high of Dallas. I think this is one of these games that you bet.
Trap game.
This is a trap game right here. You just know Dallas gonna get it done. Then next thing you know, boom.
But we know for sure they won't cover.
They're not covering 9.5.
Yeah, they're not. J-Hal, would you take the Jets plus 9?
Hell yeah. I bump it up to 10. Hell yeah.
All right.
10.5, no doubt.
The Broncos are favorite, 3.5 point favorite versus the Commanders. Sean Payton still working on Russell Wilson. Is he gonna cook this game finally, Flowers? He gonna fish you a gourmet meal?
I don't know about gourmet, but I think Denver will get the win this week. The Commanders are not a good football team, in my opinion.
I think they get Sweat back. I mean, not Sweat. They get
Chase Young back this week. He'll be on snap count. But I really don't see the Commanders having good success against the Broncos defense. And I think Russ will probably do enough this week to be able to get them a win. So I'm going to take the Broncos this week.
RC, taking the Commanders? Sam Howell?
Oh, hell no. I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't take after what I've seen and how they played, how Sam Howell was running for his life. Ain't no way in him. No. I just feel like too, Eric the enemy is finding out the hard way. Um, I'm not gonna say Eric the enemy. I'm just gonna say that collectively, as a coaching staff, they realizing that how important they should have went out and got a quarterback, man. They're quarterback away
Right.
for being a
Yeah.
legit team. Like you just can't just go pick somebody's second best player or third best player and say, hey, you know what, we're going, it's just you can't just keep getting
Sam
guys to
Howell.
come in there. You just can't do that, man. Go get you a
Like,
quarterback.
we drafted Sam Howell, so we're gonna ride with Sam Howell. What sense that you don't have to do that? You could have
No.
got another quarterback
But
in
listen,
there.
I really feel like this, man, and I could be wrong for saying this, but I feel like um, a lot of times when you see stuff like this, you put guys like Sam Howell in bad situations. Like he's not ready for this moment, man. It's not fair to him. Like I understand what he did in North Carolina, but this and you really look at McLaurin and other guys, you wasting these guys' careers. You wasting
Yeah.
time.
Right. Terry McLaurin, find him. I want out, bro.
Dotson. Oh, I mean, they got good.
What
They
he
got some
had?
good talent, man.
What Terry McLaurin? I think he only had like 4 or 5 catches
Mm-hmm.
in that game. He
Yeah.
didn't do diddly squat. He's a top 12, maybe top 10. Some people even got him in the top 10 receiver. And look, my bad, I gave him too much credit. He had 4 targets, 2 catches, and 31 yards.
I ain't gonna cut it, and it's not his fault.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So
Yeah.
in this game, what's up, the glue? What's up, bro? Thanks for tuning in. In this game, I'm taking the Broncos. Champagne not gonna let these boys go 0-2. He probably chewed them out after that loss, knowing him. I seen Champagne when he get mad, bro. You don't want to
You
be on
mad?
that. You don't want to be on that side now. All right, the Dolphins are favorites 3-3 in New England. Flowers, do Tua continue this ride?
Ooh, this is a tough one, man. This is a trap game.
Really?
I know Tua has had success. I think he's a little 4-0 against Bill.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with the Patriots this week. I really
That's
am. I'm going with the
tough.
Patriots this week.
That's tough.
I feel like Bill would do enough to slow down Tyreek. Both are missing their left tackles. Let's be honest here. New England played a hell of a game against Philly. They
Right.
outscored Philly with like 20-9, even though Philly won. But overall, man, they outplayed Philly, and they got pressure on Philly. I see Bill getting pressure on Tua. I don't think that Tua and them gonna light
Flowers, I
Bill
don't
up.
know.
I might be wrong, but
Huh? I'm about to give you the report.
I'm just go ahead. Give me a report.
It's
What's going on?
brutal. I heard on Pro Football about who's all out, and it didn't really register me until I just saw this. But
And please tell me if I make my pick.
Trent Brown is questionable concussion. The other guard, Mike, I don't know how his name is. He's questionable with ankle. Cole Strange, the guy they drafted, is questionable with a knee. Sidney Soul, guard, is questionable with a concussion. Then Jonathan Jones, questionable with an ankle corner.
Good. Miami. I'm going Miami.
that's basically the whole starting whole line.
Yeah, that's too much, man. That's too much. Give me Miami.
That's probably why they got Dolphins 3-3.
Still a sneaky game though, man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if New England won it. But yeah, you telling me all this. I'm glad you told me this.
I just thought about it.
I knew Trent Brown might be out, but the other people, my goodness.
3 guards. So
Yeah,
they rotate. They rotating guys on the O line trying to fix it. Other than that, kind of like I said, Pro Football Focus mentioned it, and it didn't really dawn on me to now when you mentioned the Patriots. RC, Matt Jones. What does he need to do to beat the Dolphins?
It's another one of those games where you can have a letdown after a big win. You can have one hit. Judon can come free and knock the shit out of you.
Come on, man.
He's right, though.
No, that's foul.
Listen, you understand? Like I didn't expect him to do anything against Philadelphia, and they did more than I ever thought they would do.
Yeah,
I understand the offensive line is hurt. I understand they got a lot of injuries, but this is the National Football League, next man up, and this is Bill Belichick, and this game is always close, and so let's see if Miami can can stay healthy another week, and let's see if New England can come out and improve on what the showing that they had before. It's tough, man. Like these divisional games be tough because you can throw the record out. Even with the 49ers and the Rams, I'm a Niners fan, but them rivalry games be different. That
Right.
ball down differently. So I'm taking my heart is saying Dolphins, but my mind is saying Patriots. But I'm gonna take the Dolphins in this game. 2-0
I thought
Patriots.
you about to take
I'm tempted. I'm
I thought you
tempted,
about to
but
take the Patriots.
it's
Can't
tempting,
stop
man.
working.
The game is it's a tough game pick.
I'm taking the Dolphins. Tua, he lived the Chargers. I don't see anything changing with the Patriots. Yeah, they have a better defense, but they still got to figure out how to stop Tyreek Hill. And Flowers mentioned Belichick is 0-4. I don't see anything changing with the Patriots offense. Or they're going to run the ball more with Stevenson, maybe so, but still, you still got to pull points. You can't get field goals in this game. You need touchdowns. And we saw versus New England, they were kicking a couple of field goals. I mean, versus the Eagles, they were kicking a couple of field goals. All right, the Browns, they are favored by 3 in Pittsburgh. RC, we saw King Pickett look like a little kid back there, frightened of that 49ers D-line.
I
Is
saw
the
it
Browns
different,
going to
dude.
cause the same thing? He
I
saw
saw
it
it
different.
different. I saw it different. That game, that ball was kicked off in the beginning. There was a lot of atmosphere. It was a great atmosphere. You had 2 traditional power, 2 just good teams overall for tradition. And the Steelers were moving that ball. Like, they could move the football. It's just he made the mistake. You know, he made the mistake of trying to put a ball somewhere it shouldn't have been, holding on it too long. I think he is playing in his home stadium, his college stadium. He's at times to me, it looks like he was just handed the keys to a car that he probably don't even deserve to drive. I think they need to lean on Najee Harris and lean on him. He need to rely more on Fryer move instead of trying to just force it into picking. But
Right.
I think they bounced back. I think they have pride too. They was in the same boat the Giants were in, and the Browns we know are very inconsistent. They didn't look very good on offense. They have the Bengals number. I'm going with the Steelers in this game to bounce back.
RC, do you agree with RC?
Where's
Yeah,
the
I agree
game,
with
man?
RC.
Did I say Flowers or RC?
He said RC. Of course, I'm gonna
Oh,
agree with RC.
Flowers, do you agree with RC?
Where's the game at?
In Pittsburgh. And Browns are favorites by 3.
I feel like this game can go either way, man. But I am a big believer of teams that play the 49ers. They struggle the week after.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I am very big on that. I hear a lot on that last year. I feel like the Cleveland Browns composed the same threat as the 49ers gave the Pittsburgh Steelers, especially with them being rivals. And I know I'm not banking on this game to be a Deshaun Watson game. I'm quite sure TJ Watt I have 2 or 3 sacks this game also. But I just feel like Kenny Pickett will be forced into bad situations about Darius and Myles Garrett. And I just think Cleveland probably will make one more play. And just because Chubb and their running game is better than Pittsburgh, I'm going to go Cleveland's way.
All right, I'm taking the Steelers. I'm just say this: we might need to bring back the massage parlor, Deshaun Watson, because this Deshaun Watson right here, he's still struggling, man. And he's going against a better defense with the Steelers. Can he make the throws? Can they get Nick Chubb going? Yeah, maybe so. But I feel like the Steelers, they got punched in the mouth, and I think they say, okay, we know what we need to work on. They're gonna correct a lot of things going into this game. I don't see Mike Tomlin having a team come out and dropping another L back to back, especially in the division they feel like they can win.
I want
Go
to say
ahead,
something real
Flowers.
quick. I don't think Mike Tomlin's the problem. I don't like the offense that they run.
Right.
Najee, then they get rid of Najee.
No,
Matt Canada. I don't like Matt Canada. I think Matt Canada is a good college coach. I don't think he can call X's and O's in the league, but that's just my opinion. But continue.
I'm taking my pick.
Yeah. Going Brownies?
Yep.
I'm sticking with the Steelers. I feel like they're not gonna drop back-to-back division games.
They're not
These are
supposed to.
important.
They're not supposed to, but they will.
All right. The Saints are favorites against the Panthers by 3. RC,
It's easy. I'm taking the
Bryce
Saints.
Young.
It's easy. It's easy. It's easy. I watched the Panthers. It's a good feel good story. I'm glad that Bryce Young survived another week of football being criticized.
Yeah, how many times got hit? Like 4 or 5?
But bro, when
Yeah.
I tell you watching New Orleans last week, it was just like they're just a defensive team. Your offense don't scare me. It's a wall you got to continue to go through over and over and over. Dennis Allen is a great defensive coach. I'm taking the Saints.
Flowers, who you having this game?
Saints, man, easy money. Like I say, man, look, Bryce Young can do it. He just doesn't have enough. Not merely to block that Saints front. Can't do nothing with their front seven. I think Bryce probably throws another interception this game also. The kid is talented, but doesn't have enough. Saints.
Yeah, with this game, he already faced the Saints defense in week 1. Did y'all realize that?
Yes, majority of them, yeah. The pass.
Yeah, majority of that. And I forgot about this. Ryan Nielsen, he was our D-line coach in New Orleans for like 4 or 5 years, and now he's coaching the Atlanta defense. So
But
Bryce Young already.
ain't no way you're gonna pick Carolina with a Saints teacher though. So
No way, no how. I was just saying, if Bryce Young struggled against somebody that came from the Saints coaching staff, defensive line coaching staff, then it's not what you think you're gonna do against the mastermind, Dennis Allen, the one who created this whole concept. Well, he didn't really create the whole concept. He just put the whole game plan together. And that's what Ryan Nielsen did against Carolina. He took a page out of Dennis Allen book and blitzed the mess and got pressure on Bryce Young.
right.
He had 2 interceptions, I believe, and they wasn't pretty either. He threw for 187.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot to do, a lot to give up for Carolina. I know they don't try to get Miles Sanders involved, but we do great job against the run. Our defense is pretty reliable, even though we missed a lot of key players from last year. So I'm picking the Saints. Derek Carr, he thrown for 3 touchdowns. No J.C. Horn, he's out.
That's big.
He's out. So I think Derek Carr gonna have a big game. Taking my Saints. All right, so that's our NFL game picks for week 2. I'm in second place, and I'm about to have my eyes on first in game picks. I'm just letting y'all know. Oh, nothing? Okay.
Nothing. Show me.
I'm looking for a little pushback, but okay. All right.
Move to Missouri and show me.
So Colorado State head coach came out and said it's about Deion. He said, when I talk to grown-ups, I take my hat and glasses off. That's what my mother taught me. Flowers. Was that disrespectful to Deion?
It was slick. You're trying to be underhanded and slick. You can take that a lot of ways. Some ways
Right.
I'm not going to talk about on here, but overall, why would you even talk to Deion and give him the chance to say, I'm taking this personal? See, now instead of you losing by 17, 18, you're probably going to lose by 25.
RC, if another man told you that, how would you feel? What would your reaction be?
First of all, I'm sick of black people with black people. Like, when I found out Norvell was a black man, the first thing I thought
he
in my
Mexican.
mind was, he's black. Look it up, because I looked it up. And the most disappointing thing about that is this gives me Eddie Robinson vibes all over again. He ain't swag. He don't belong in here. It's like I expect it from a group of people, but I don't expect. But I'm starting to expect it from us as well. Because what it is whenever there's so much tradition in football, NFL, and college, and when you see a guy come in and do it differently, like I think you would get the same response from traditionalists. If Bobby Bowden was alive, he probably would feel the same way about Deion. What are you doing? Like, this ain't how this is. Deion looks like the culture. Deion looks like with these kids. He's singing rap verses and he let them play rap music, and that's a threat to a traditionalist who, you come here and get a good education. That shit ain't working no more. Like that's what college football didn't like about the University of Miami. They did it their own way. They did it. They brought the culture to football and they cleaned it up real fast and they got that shit out of here. But I think with Deion, he's not coming for them. He's not speaking on other teams. And that's just a sign of weakness and that you're afraid. You lost last week 50-24 to Washington State, and you got Colorado coming up the next week, and it's what you do to your kids because you're not going to have to play.
I'm
You're going to
telling
spend your ass over there and just watch.
you. Yep.
You wrote the check, and the kids going to have to pay up. So I'm not surprised, man. I'm just disappointed because, instead of taking an opportunity, um, in some ways, I feel like he probably did it to highlight the game because it's a late game. But he didn't
Right,
have to.
9 p.m.
Negro, we were gonna watch anyway. It's prime.
Right.
So
What gets me? It's like he attacking his character.
yeah, it's personal.
That's like, why would you even make it personal like that? You attack me on how I'll raise as a black man in America, then you a black man too. Like, hold on, why you coming at me like that for?
Listen, bro.
And
Exactly.
Deion, what he raised with shades. Listen, Deion told us many, many years ago, those who know, that prime time was created to make the cornerback position more profitable. They weren't making no money. Okay, Deion went from there from Atlanta to San Francisco to the Cowboys, so and so, and it's been the same consistent person.
Yep.
right.
Stays, chains. So what are they shocked about? I don't get it.
And my thing is, his kids love him. He take care of his kids. The people in the program at the universities love him. So what's the big deal? Okay, he wears shades, wear chains. Okay, and he taking care of his people, and he giving them better opportunities. He's coaching these kids right. He coaching these kids right. Right. It's nothing wrong with swag. It's nothing wrong to have a little pep in your step. Right. That's what you want from your. That's what you want from your players. You want confidence. As a football player, you want confidence. You don't want no little wimps. Just like he told them guys when he got there, hey, you're gonna compete for your job. You're gonna compete for your positions. Like, you can take it or leave it. And that's what you want for your guys, from your kids. You want confidence. You want them to be able to, think about their abilities and be right on it. So it was just, I was like, wow, dude. Like, where I'm from, that's fighting words. You attacking my character and who I am. Just because you doing things different and I'm doing things different don't make it wrong. It just make us two different people, how we go about it.
What's the difference in Deion wearing shades at the table and this jackass is wearing a hat? Did your mom tell you to take your damn hat off too?
Yeah, I was taught when you walk in the house, you take your hat off.
Did your mom
right?
Did your mom tell you to sweep around your own front door?
How about that?
Right. Did your mom tell you mind your own business?
How about this? And this is something I said earlier in a group chat. That hate or hatred, it brings clarity. The more these dudes speak up, it makes Deion need to believe what he see in here.
Yeah.
We're trying to. This is why I talk about racism in America. That it's not just white and black no more.
Right.
Okay. And I feel like we need to understand that anything that's different than you or that you don't agree with, you should not be. You can have an opinion about it in your circle, but like, man, listen, everybody sitting on this panel is not the same person.
Right.
And I'm wrong when we get on here and we talk about sports. If I make it personal, if I take you personally, then something wrong with me. If we can't talk sports without making it personal, it's a problem. And that's the problem I have with this. Personal.
Yeah, I don't see what Deion, just cause you flamboyant, he like, it's prime time, but just cause you act a certain way don't mean you doing it wrong. It just blows my mind. It blows my mind that they hating on him because he's different.
When you see a guy dunk the ball, he screams, and you see a guy dunk the ball, he runs back up the court. The ball went through the hole. Okay, they scored.
Right.
The guy that screams, that may be motivating him. That's his thing. It's called confidence.
Yes.
And Deion is confident, man. It's not even flamboyant. It's confident. Like Muhammad Ali was confident and he believed in himself. Kobe believed in himself. Mike believed in himself. LeBron believed in himself. It's just with Deion, what rubs people the wrong way, he's going into something that's been a certain way for years.
Yep.
Right. It's nothing new.
Yep. And
A
doing
coach,
it different.
coaches don't look like Deion now. Deion ain't just, and then,
And
bro, Prime is cleaning. Prime coming up there to the thing. It's taking him 3 days to get up there to the podium to speak.
Mhm.
But as he come through the crowd, he don't look like he coming to sell you no car insurance or bring
Right. And if you look at Deion actions and the words he say, that should tell you more. That should tell you all what you need to know about Deion. He's a man of honor. A man of integrity. So why are you attacking a man that's showing those principles? Maybe you
now
lack it too.
Feel threatened in a
Now,
way.
I don't agree with everything Deion do. I want to say this on this show.
Right.
Some of the
Yep.
shit he do,
Right.
some of the shit he do, I don't
But
like.
who
But
does? Right.
for the most part, even I was coached by a traditional coach. Even I was around traditionalists. And when you see a guy who, because when he set those kids in the room and he went at them, I felt in my heart sometimes, well, I'm like, damn, that's kind of harsh. But they were 1-11. And
Right.
he had seen tape on him, and he ain't do nothing different than Teddy Dykes did, or Sonny Dykes, whatever his name, or any other Arizona State, any other teams that was in that transfer portal, leading that transfer portal. The difference was he got the camera on him. This is the problem Deion had.
Got the
And that
tape.
camera is capturing good, bad, and ugly. So
Yeah. And another thing with traditionalist coach, usually they come in to set the record straight. Like they come in and clean house. Most traditional coaches, when they take over program, they come in and clean up and set in rules. Right. They come in and setting standards. And Deion, he just brought a different way of how he do things.
Right.
I played with a traditional type coach, but I believe some the best coaches are the coaches that let you be you, but within a certain frame. Like
So
don't be acting crazy, but you can be a rah-rah guy, but don't be throwing chairs and kicking over. Like you can show emotion, but be within a certain frame of it. That way it won't hurt the team.
I'm biased about the situation. Now, I don't disagree with RC as far as everything doesn't need to be on camera.
Right.
Now, with that being said, I think they said it's what, like 10 people still on the team left from that original Colorado team.
Yep. 10 people.
All right, so what I take out of that, and if we want to go by old school coaching methods, I was always taught, and I seen when I played, a coach that stayed on you, that was a good thing. One that continued to put pressure on you and everything else, that was a good thing. When the coach started talking to you, then you knew something was a problem. Now, for him to come in and I guess when you first see it, you thought it was harsh, but in a sense, as a young man, how do you take it? And I try to tell people this all the time. A lot of coaches you might think coming off as assholes and whatnot. Some of this stuff you have to take it as a challenge for yourself because he was challenging you at the same time by telling you, I don't want you here. You still have a chance to prove yourself.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. You still have a chance to prove yourself. And the 10 kids that stayed and did it, they earned their way. That's
right. What's
the
wrong
easiest
with
thing.
that?
That's the easiest thing for somebody to do. If you don't want to be on this team, if you don't want to do this, you need to get the hell out. That's all he did.
I like that. That's straightforward.
My mom just said something. She just commented. She said, Joe Malcolm, that was my mom. She said, if Prime had on a suit, it still wouldn't be enough. And so, that's it.
They want you to walk the walk. Yeah.
I mean, Jesus walked on water, man. Listen, man, listen, I say this all the time. We're going to offend somebody because you're going to always offend people when you be yourself. When you being big and you being Flowers and I'm being RC, it's going to offend people who are not being themselves.
Right.
Scott J. Norvell, he's following
some
business. He's trying to be what he's seen other people be. He's coached a lot of places, man. He got a long track record of where he's
the coaching tree he follows.
Yeah,
Deion's not a part of a coaching.
That's why you always RC. That's why you always picking on people that was on the Bill Belichick. Like, don't be Bill Belichick. Yeah. Like, you got to implement your own self into the team.
Yeah.
And that my coach in high school gave me the same. We had a new coach in high school. We switched over, I think, my 10th grade year. And he was like, I don't care what position y'all played. y'all gotta earn your spots all over again.
But think
And
about
like
this.
you get
Think about this. Sorry for cutting you off. Every Sabanite that leave Alabama, even Kirby Smart, them two national championships he won, yeah, he won them. He won them at Georgia, but in the likeness and image of Alabama.
Big time.
We don't really know what Kirby Smart, who he really is. We know he just took the business model, the blueprint, and he went out and he was successful. But
Yep.
what coaching tree did Prime come from? He created his own.
that's
All
what you
right,
do.
that's scary.
You take pieces of what you learn from different coaches and you create
That's
your own
scary.
formula.
That's
Yeah, that's hey, if you want to tune in before, we tune in now.
I'm gonna say
Go
this,
ahead,
and I'll
Flower.
be done with it. The thing that Deion does the most, and why he's gonna sell on this level, is him being him, but he allows people that looks like him to come in and be themselves. They don't have to act. They don't have to put on. Deion understands, you know, what we are and who we are. As African Americans. I'm not trying to make this a race thing, or anything, but let's be honest. The NFL, college football is predominantly black. That's not throwing shade or anything. So it's an advantage for Dion to be able to go into places like where Travis Hunter came, from, and go into the projects and tell these mamas, I can take care of your son. I'm gonna teach him how to be a man and try to get him to a level, try to take care of his family. He's done it. So Dion has the blueprint. Plain and simple.
So, like, even with white coaches in the NFL and college, why do players give that coach? He's a player coach. What that mean? That mean he
What you
know how
mean?
to talk to you. He know how to treat you.
Well, player coach.
That's what I'm saying. Even with white coaches, like players say he's a player coach. What do they really mean by that?
It
I'm gonna
doesn't
explain something to
matter.
you.
Go ahead, see.
They said it about Kyle Shanahan in the National Football League. Deion Sanders said he's like my dad. He's
You heard that about Doug Peterson.
Yeah, they play the rap music. They allow them to, come out with the boom box. That's a player coach. It's called evolution. It's called evolving. It's called
right.
I learned this one now when I'm in huddle with young kids. It's not so I can't be. You gotta have an open mind.
Yes.
You gotta. I said this earlier in the group chat. If I keep bringing up Jesus for some reason tonight. I ain't preaching to nobody, but if this man was perfect and he had an open mind, he was always around people who was imperfect. We need to be able to see stuff different.
Yes.
Because when you sit in a huddle, you got all different types of personalities and different types of these people come from different environments. They hearing different things, and some people come from an environment where they have money and some don't. And so Deion gets it. He understands. And so that's some of these coaches like, you're gonna do this, blah, blah, blah. You're teaching tradition. You're teaching it's peer pressure. Like, why do the players from Alabama leave Alabama and then not all of them, but most of them, and they just seem like they'd be lost without Nick Saban? They don't have any structure, don't have any. It's crazy, bro. It's like, if you think about it, man, it's really, in some ways, what he's doing is remarkable because he's getting guys who don't know each other to respond and rally around each other. And you brought the culture to Colorado. Oh, it's live out there now. It's live out there now.
All right, so we are brought to you by Sharps.
Sports bettors, you need to download Sharps, the better social network. With Sharps mobile app, you can tail your friends' bets with one click. See a bet you like? Just click the whale tail icon and boom, it will open in your corresponding sportsbook. Sharp securely connects to major sportsbooks like FanDuel, MGM, Caesars, and more. So you can not only track your bets, but share your bets in creative ways. So gather the degens, download Sharps for free, and join our fast-growing sports betting community.
That's right. Use Sharps. Use our code VOLS323 is a sports better network. It allows you to connect with other bettors and place bets. Trade ideas, trade notes on teams and players. Improve your chances of winning. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like Facebook. So connect with other bettors on Sharps. Flowers, do you have a pick of the day you want to announce?
As far as college?
Anything, what you think that people should place a bet on, any game?
Well, you know what? I've named a few, I'm quite. I'll name a few. As we went on through the show, I've been giving some out as the show went by. But I'm pretty big on the numbers this week. These big numbers in the league, like the Dallas 9.5. I would go with the Jets plus 9.5. I would go Raiders plus 8.5. Giants, I'm big on them this week. Who else am I thinking about? I would go with the Colts, of course, even though I
Colts,
sound
yeah.
biased with it. I would definitely play them being like a plus half or 2. If you even get that up to 3, if you can get that up to plus 3.5, I would definitely go that way because I wouldn't be shocked if the line dropped by 12 o'clock kickoff and it'll be a pick'em game, which means both of them would be minus 110. So I think those are some pretty good ones. But I will get with Ben and we'll put something up this weekend for a visual for people to follow. If you want
Yes,
to follow
sir.
what I do this week.
Yes, and remember, guys, we have a new segment, fan posts. We'll be taking questions Sunday night and Monday night. Well, Sunday, all day Monday to be asked on the show Tuesday. So tune in for that. Like I said, you can come on the show, present your question to us. You can come on live. You don't have to show your face or anything like that and ask us like that. Or you can comment on the post or send me a message. Either one will do. So tune in for that. And guys, man, what a great show. We got our NFL game picks in. NFL's back. We loving it. So we will see y'all next week.
Peace.
Y'all take it easy.
All right.